My name is Travis. I'm a paid media manager at RocketMill. What does being a paid media manager mean? Firstly, it means out of everyone who's speaking today, I've got the most boring job title, but it also means that I run ad campaigns for our clients. What I hope to achieve with my talk today, other than getting a good photo for my Instagram, is to change your mindset of what a digital agency is, because digital isn't a channel anymore. To start my explanation of what I mean by that, I'm going to quickly summarize some of the key points from Sam and Matt's talk. This is your audience that is split into two. You might be used to seeing your audience split over a marketing funnel, but for me it basically comes down to whether people are in market to buy what you're selling or they're not. If I'm running a campaign to target people who are in market, what I'm doing is creating a short-term campaign targeting a limited group of people with efficiency. When I'm running a campaign targeting people who are not in market, that is a longer-term campaign that focuses on growth, where we try and move people from the not in market side of this over to the in market side. What we're seeing in the industry at the moment, however, is many businesses are over-indexing their investment towards the in market side of this, focusing too much on people who are already showing intent to buy. That's causing quite a few problems for us in the industry at the moment. It's causing problems because this activity is not as profitable as it used to be, and it's also creating little or no growth. The reason it's not as profitable as it used to be is because everyone is doing it. If you're currently benefiting from targeting people who are in market and ready to buy, you better believe that your competitors are doing exactly the same thing. What that means is we're all rushing to the same platforms, we're all pouring too much budget in those platforms, and it's causing the cost of those areas to increase. If we take Google as an example, as a search engine, Google is one of those platforms that shows the highest levels of intent. People come here to search for product information, reviews, pricing, that sort of thing. Google is also one of the areas that we're seeing become far less cost efficient each year. For one of the clients that I'm working with, in the last 5 years, we've seen the cost of a click increase by over 100%. That's not because I'm at my job, it's because it's being driven higher and higher by competition each year. We're not just seeing this for one client, we're seeing this across several industries. As an average, as there's more competition there, it's driving the cost per click up by 13% each year, and I've projected that by 2022 it's going to triple where it was versus 2013. So if I'm focusing all of my efforts targeting people who are in market in places like Google, it's going to be harder for me to become profitable each year. Not only that, by its very nature, when we're targeting people who are in market, we're creating little or no growth. If we're only targeting people who are ready to buy now, that's always going to be a finite group of people because there's only a certain number of people who want to buy something at any one time. What that means is we're not doing enough to increase the number of people who reach that stage in the first place. You see the orange line behind me here represents sales, and that's not really changing each year because we're not trying to get more people to buy something. The black line, as I have just discussed, is cost increasing each year. It represents the cost of a single sale. So as we reach 2022 and that cost keeps going up and your sales remain steady, it's going to be harder for me to run a profitable campaign for you. And that really sucks. We know that you love digital. You've poured investment in there over recent years because it offers you so many benefits. It's brought real-time accountability into marketing. It's allowed you to create performance reports that prove activities worth in black and white numbers. It's allowed you to buy a person in real time rather than buying media in advance in a bulk format. And most importantly, it used to be cheap. But all is not lost because digital isn't a channel anymore. It's not enough to think about digital as just search, social, and display, because this is only a fraction of what your media managers have got access to today. Because digital isn't a channel, it's how we trade media. Now, I've seen media buying change a lot over recent years, and it's not unsurprising because other media owners have seen platforms like Google and Facebook making lots of cash, and they've not been sitting idle. They've been adapting their approach to create an offering that is people-based and data-driven. What that means for me is that the media map has grown. You can consider a media map as basically my shopping list of activity that I can run for my clients. That is what it used to look like because brands would split their media agencies. You'd have a digital performance-based agency and a traditional buying agency. The first had digital skills that governed search, social, and display, where we bought people in real time. The second had big buying clout, multiple specialist buying teams that sat across different forms of media. This is what it used to look like, and this is what it looks like today. And this is why, despite having a crap job title, this is why it's quite an exciting job to have. Other media owners have seen the success that Google and Facebook have had, and they have been providing more and more inventory that is people-based, data-driven, and accountable in real time. As a result, the scope of work that your digital agency can do has grown because it's able to access media that is typically sat within the remit of a traditional agency. It's no wonder that in the industry today we are seeing many traditional agencies struggling. One coping method for that is for them to buy digital agencies like RocketMill. So clearly, the industry is moving towards a data-driven, performance-based marketplace. What's really important to you is that skill shift is needed to be able to operate here now. Brands need to start weighting their investment in skills differently. Negotiation and buying clout are not as important as they used to be. We're buying people with data, and we're doing that in real time. So what you need to make sure you have is technologically savvy teams. You need to put investment into data science, analytical skills. All of your campaigns need to be operated with agility and speed. We're really seeing media adapt to embrace this performance mindset, and that is what is allowing us to achieve RocketMill's vision of total performance. This is just some of what's possible for me to access today. It shows an array of platforms that we can use to target people who are both in and not in market. Typically, RocketMill would be siloed right over on the in-market side of this, where you've got search engines and social platforms. We've always been able to get in front of people with intent here. They've always been data-driven. They've always been people first. We've now got all of these other platforms towards the middle and the not in-market side of this as well, all of whom are offering their data-driven, real-time platforms that we can advertise on. If we use AdSmart for an example, you've already had a pretty detailed explanation of why AdSmart is quite exciting. The reason I find it so exciting is because it allows me to buy a TV ad, not based on who we think watches a particular program or a channel, but based on real information about people. The amount of data that we can get from there is really impressive. It's sophisticated enough that me and Ian can live in the same block of flats, above and below each other. We can watch the same episode of Ben Fogle's New Lives in the Wild, and we'll see a completely different ad, and it will be tailored to us. ITV have just launched their TV offering as well. We've got audio capabilities on here where we can use data to understand who is listening to particular radio shows or podcasts. We can buy ads based on that information as well. There's even out-of-home and influencer activity on there as well. And these are all things that traditionally have sat with your traditional agency's remit. This is really exciting for me because I can start getting so creative by operating across all of these different platforms. I can use data and real-time analysis to understand how each platform is performing on its own, but also how the entire unit is working as a single strategy. It means that I can make data-driven decisions that will allow me to achieve both short-term sales as well as long-term growth. And that is what total performance is. So the days of traditional media buying are numbered. The industry has embraced and adapted towards a performance mindset. Digital now goes beyond search, social, and display, and that's why I want you to rethink your view of what your digital agency can do for you, because digital is no longer a channel. The scope of the media manager has dramatically increased. The skill set that we've learned from operating on search, social, and display is now applicable to all forms of media. So despite the fact that we do have a pretty crap job title, it's a pretty exciting time to be a paid media manager today. Thank you.